Hello dears, welcome to the Beauty of a Heart. I'm Dealing also known as Lily. Today I'll be sharing with you dears my 2021 eyeshadow palettes ranking. These are the palettes I got in 221. Bought most of them, less than a handful are PR. Some are Asia brands, some are Western brands. Some are pigmented, colourful palettes, and some are the sheer, neutral, natural palettes. You may find one that suits your preferred colour story. So in this video, I'll be doing the swatches and ranking. So hopefully this video can serve you as a guideline. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome. If you happen to like this video, please consider to subscribe. And for all of you dears who are watching my video right now, thank you so much for watching. It's my blessing to have you dears here. And now, let's get started! These palettes over here are what I got in 2021 and only less than a handful of them are PR items. To rank them, I will state to how frequently I reach out for them, and the frequency will have to depend on their color story, their eyeshadow formula, and my expectation. So basically, the higher the price tag, the higher expectation I will have on them. However, all the palettes over here that I'm going to mention just now are of the drugstore pricing. Nothing high-end over here. Last year, I'm controlling myself to buy eyeshadow palettes because in the previous year, just on the Black Friday alone, I can buy over 20 palettes. After a while, due to the humidity over here, a lot of my eyeshadows, regardless of the price tags, go moldy. So that's why I find that it's a bit wasteful to keep buying eyeshadow palettes to get them moldy. I was doing the DIY to the palettes series where to dupe the newly released eyeshadow palettes on the market and to see whether if I were to buy the newly released palette, will I be using them more often and will I be inspired to reach out for them. With the duping, I can decide better. And also because of the duping, I cut down on buying a lot of eyeshadow palettes. So last year, I only bought 21 eyeshadow palettes and 3 of them are the PR items. And I find that this is a great achievement for myself. And most of them are the small quads and trills and small palettes. Most of the palettes I already did a detailed review videos, and if you dears are interested to find out, I will link 5 of them in my description box below as well as the iCard. Actually referring to the iCard will be better. And now let's start with the last position. Actually, I haven't used this at all. I just talked about this palette from my previous video, which is the Milani makeup products review, which is good. And I mentioned that last Christmas, Milani was doing a series of giveaway and I happened to win this. So lucky of me. However, this came in broken, which was broken at these 2 colors over here. They shattered into powders and contaminating the whole palette. So I reached out to Milani and asked whether I can do a replacement. They didn't, but they gave me 4 other products. For more details, please refer to my previous video. This color story is a coral color story. This is one that I can use it for everyday purpose. I wanted to buy a new one to replace this. However, the last time that I tried from the online and also at Watson, I cannot find this color. So that's why this is the last position. I haven't tried it, so actually it's not fair for me to say much about this. It's just that I haven't reached out for this at all. I am a completionist, although I try not to. I've already bought this nude edition and rose edition a number of years ago. I think maybe before the pandemic starts. And when I saw this brown edition, I bought it without much thoughts. And I also haven't used this palette except for today. So this eye makeup is actually created by this palette. I will later insert the longevity because I took the photo at around 01 PM. And the timing now is coming to 5 PM and I realized the color is not so vibrant as of just now. So I'm beginning to suspect that this actually fades. It swatched out nicely and applied well on the eyes. I really don't like this Essence Travel Series eyeshadow palette. I bought a few of their eyeshadow palettes under this travel series and this Konnichiwa Tokyo palette is their latest. Somehow I find that this series turns moldy very fast. And as you just probably can see, there are 4 missing shades over here. And right now under all these strong lightings, I can see that actually these blue shades and the last shade over here, they are hairy, so I think they are also moldy already. So somehow I find that the travel series turns moldy very fast and I will throw this away after this video. This swatch video was done when I did a review video last year. Back then, they are still fresh and all the colors are present. I don't really like the formula for their travel series. They are not pigmented and they don't last on me. However, I do think that these are great for makeup beginners as they are less pigmented and more forgiving on making mistakes. Essence eyeshadow formula can be a hit or miss. So far, this Steady Dose of Energy and their single eyeshadows are great. And I find that for this Steady Dose of Energy, it has a very similar color story with the Colourpop Yes Please palette, which this Colourpop Yes Please palette has already been discontinued. Can you see the similarities? Obviously, the Colourpop Yes Please palette is a bigger palette. This is a 12 pans palette, and the Daily Dose of Energy from Essence is a 9 pans eyeshadow palette. So if you dears are interested in this kind of color stories, you may like to look out for this Daily Dose of Energy. Yeah, Daily Dose of Energy from Essence. The central round pan, which is the gold color, feels more of a creamy texture than a powder texture. This gold color has a slightly sheer base and this is more sheer compared to the other metallic colors in this palette. This palette doesn't have any color names, so the number 6 color, which is the metallic color, this is less pigmented. Overall, the color payoff for both the mattes and the metallics are saturated, except for the 2 metallic shades I mentioned, which is the central round pan and the number 6 color, that are slightly lesser pigmented than the rest. Good experience with this palette so far. This Suzanne Airy Touch Shadow Quartz performs very much like the Japanese eyeshadow formula. It has mild pigmentation, great for beginners and easy to remove, and for those who wants to have a soft eye makeup look. This quartz comes in a variety of the color depth. The light one, you can use it as the highlighter. Then this second one, you can use it on the crease. And the third one over here, you can use on the eyelid. And the darkest color over here, which is the 4th color, we can use this as the eyeliner or at the outer corner. On the eyes, it seems so soft and feminine. It doesn't crease, but it fades a little. The eyeshadow feels stiff and hard. We have to run the brush or finger hard a few times to pick up the color. Not exactly my preferred formula, hence seldom use this quad. I've good experience with this Catrice Pro Slim series. So far over here in Singapore at Guardian Pharmacy, we have 3 palettes under this Pro Slim series from Catrice, and this Vintage Soul is their latest palette under this series. And they are still available now. This palette leans more towards cool natural tone. That's why I didn't use this more often than I wanted, because somehow I find that cool natural colors looks very muddy on my eyelid. Formulas are great and they are long lasting on my eyes. And in this palette, there are 3 finishes, which is the matte, shimmers, and pressed shimmers with sparkles. Love the intricate designs over here on the packaging. Mauve or mauvey color, depending on how you want to pronounce it, is one of my favorite color stories for the eyes. This is a matte dominary palette. I realize I'm not reaching out for a mini matte palette, hence although I like mauve, I seldom reach out for this palette. Up to last year, I do my best to avoid pressed glitters, and there are 2 over here, so all the more I seldom reach out for this. For now, I am setting pressed glitter this year. However, I am still not reaching out for this palette. Conclusion for this palette, I thought I would love this color, sorry, but in the end I didn't. I bought this palette to top up to the free international shipping amount. Purple is one of my favorite eye color story. I love the shimmery finish over here. They are so shiny. Maybe for the past 2 years I stay at home most of the time, I like to keep my makeup plain. But it is habitual for me to pick up the colors I like. I haven't adjusted my buying preference in time to my makeup preference. Hence, I seldom reach out for this slightly strong color palette. If it was in the past, I would surely use this palette more often. I bought these 2 palettes at the same time for review purpose. I would prefer the Red Velvet color story, which is this one, slightly more than the Donut. That's due to my makeup preference. I was surprised by these 2 palettes. Silky Girl made a tremendous improvement in their formula. These 2 palettes are highly pigmented. Both the mattes and shimmery finish are smooth and long-lasting. They are on par with Colourpop, if not slightly better. And Silky Girl is everywhere here. I do not need to hit any free international shipping amount to get them. It is more convenient for me to get this Silky Girl palette than buying from Colourpop. I duped this palette before early last year, but some of the green in the dupe palette turned moody, and since there was a promotion last year, I grabbed this palette. The formula over here at this child palette is slightly better than most of their other palette. Their mattes are highly pigmented and they are very easily blended out on the eyelid. I'm so surprised. The shimmery are intense. I just need to apply one layer dry on the eyelid with my finger. If you dears like a more intense look, you may like to wet the shimmery ones with a spray. Their Super Shock formula over here in this palette is the same Super Shock formula, and their matte with sparkle formula is the same too, where the sparkles will disappear on the eyes. It's as good as a matte formula. I like Kate Tokyo eyeshadow formula among the Japanese brands. This trio is designed to create a soft, bigger, sharper eye makeup look by adding the eyeshadow beneath our eyes here. Kate Tokyo designed this soft, bigger, sharper eye makeup look to go with the mask. The formula feels so smooth that I like to touch them even without applying them on my eyes. What a waste! And now these are the top 10 eyeshadow palettes. But let me cheat a bit here. This is a face, eye and cheek palette. And because it has these 3 eyeshadow colors over here, I categorize this palette to the eyeshadow palette. I love all the colors over here. But I feel that the 3 eyeshadow colors depth are about the same. Milani can mix different color depths to create a complete eye makeup look, maybe a lighter color as the eye makeup look, much lighter than the highlighter colors over here in the palette, and a darker look, much darker than the colors for the face as the outer corner color. However, I still feel that this is a good palette for a short vacation. This is their last year Halloween palette, and this is a PR palette. Actually, I dare not hold it 90 degrees because from the previous video that I was shooting, 2 colors fell off, which is this green over here and the blue over here. So I will just slant it at 45 degrees. All these 12 colors comes with a unique Singapore True Ghost story. Except for 2 colors, one is from Hong Kong and the other one is from Malaysia. The story from the Hong Kong is not a true story. It's what we love since childhood, which is the Vampire Jiangshi show. And luckily, I can fix the 2 fell off colors over here. I love all their shimmery sparkle finish. This Reese's Disease Vanquish eyeshadow palette is an all shimmery sparkle palette with some subtle multi-chrome colors. There are some nice purples over here. Love the formula, love the sparkles, love how long lasting it is on my eyes. I bought all these 3 quads together. There's no ranking among these 3 quads, I will just rank them together. Actually, for each quads, they came with a see-through plastic casing, but because one of the quads came in broken, the plastic lid somehow broke during the way here. So that's why I just pick out all of them and place it in this anti-magnetic palette. So to me, when I use them, I will just treat this as a 12 pans eyeshadow palette with square pans. The original packaging is not magnetic. They came with a strong glue that stick the pans to the casing, and that's why I'm using the term dig, not depot. These quads have a better and softer formula. Both the mattes and the metallics are highly pigmented. When I saw the release photos of these quads, I didn't notice the brand. I thought this is from some Korean makeup brands because they usually comes in quads, clear plastic or acrylic casing, and this kind of peachy, coral, brown, natural color stories. I'm much more into a simple looks now, hence I'm only reaching out for trio, quads or quicks. The maximum I can go right now is a 9-pan eyeshadow palette now. So if you dears are also looking for a small eyeshadow palette, you may consider these quads. I love how sparkly they are. I like the purple more than the rosy brown. And as you dears can see, this is a dual color consisting of one darker color and one lighter color. So they have a sheer base. Sheer as in terms of you can still see the color, but it is a little more translucent than the normal opaque colors. And these are the metallic colors with sparkles. When we wear these two on the eyes, it creates a glittery and translucent eye makeup look. I bought the purple one first, followed by the rosy brown. The purple is more glamorous and this brown is more natural, more for the daily wear. From the photo, I thought it looks more rosy brown, but when I apply this color on the eyes, it looks way more brown than I thought. Regardless, I love this soft, pretty and natural look. And now, here comes the top 5 eyeshadow palettes. Starting off with Milani Luster Light Hyper Pigmented Eyeshadow Palette. Love these soft romantic color stories, which reminds me of the shimmery rose gold, bright bold berries, soft romantic mattes. This is primarily a warm palette. This palette consists mostly the mid-tone to the dark tone, and the mid-tones can be used as the eyelid color. And this kind of color story is my typical cup of tea. To me, this is my nude color, and this is great for daily wear. They don't swatch so well on the hands, especially the darker matte colors. They look a bit patchy and uneven on the hand. Some feels beady in the pan, but when I apply all the eyeshadow colors over here on the eyes, they are smooth and easy to apply. And this color story is great for creating a soft, romantic, feminine look. As the product name suggested, this is a glitter heavy palette. This is a coral pink natural color eyeshadow palette. It is designed to create a fresh, natural, sparkly look. Despite that it's only 9 pans eyeshadow palette, there are actually 5 formulas. One is the matte, then one is with the matte with sparkle, and the sparkle really stays on the eyes, not like the ColourPop ones. One is the shimmery colors. Another formula is the pressed glitter formula. The pressed glitter, so far when I used them, I did not wear any glitter glue and it sticks well to the eyes. And the last formula will be the pressed shimmer formula, and they are very sparkly as well. The pressed shimmers formula, which is these 2 colors over here, they are of the very soft pudding-like texture, something like the ColourPop Super Shock eyeshadow, but this is more bouncy. And when we press harder, there will be a dent over here. I really like the 2 pressed shimmers formula colors over here because they are so sparkly and they are sheer. So it is very good to create very natural sparkly look. It suits my makeup preference very well. The mattes feel silky smooth, easy to blend and pigmented on the eyelid. Let me clarify what do I mean by pigmented for this palette. It may not be as pigmented as the Western brand eyeshadow. It is more pigmented than the other Korean brand's eyeshadow. They have different lightness and darkness in this palette, which can be used at different parts of our eyelid. Overall, I am happy with this palette and I hope that Eyeshadow can come up with more palettes and products. So far, Eyeshadow is well known for their glitters. And Eyeshadow is also cruelty free! Okay, I think I forgot to mention all these 24 palettes over here are all cruelty free. And now the top 3! Coming up next will be the Makeup with Rising Phoenix Oriental Rhapsody. This is more of a spring color story. It is an all shimmery with sparkles colors. This is also a PR from Makeup Rising Phoenix. I mainly reach out for the pinks over here in this palette, especially for this Chang'e. It is so sparkly and this pink is very lovely and sweet. This palette is inspired by the Chinese culture, legend, folktales, history that passed down upon generations to generations. Makeup Rising Phoenix is a Singapore indie brand. In Singapore, we are a multiracial country, with the 4 main races that are the Indians, Malay, Chinese and Eurasian. So Makeup Rising Phoenix is aiming to create a different palette for each culture. So creative of them and so local of them. When I saw the color story, it reminded me of Korean beauty. And my YouTube friend Nadine from Unpretty Vanity channel, she recommended Escar to me. She especially recommended their eyeshadow palette, so when I received it, I was quite surprised by Their pigmentation, because their eyeshadow palette is more pigmented than the Korean beauty eyeshadow palettes. The last color over here has a really hard pan and cannot swatch very well. And over on the eyes, I have to build up this color. But other than that, I love the other colors, especially the pressed shimmers that are very sparkly. In this palette, there are 4 kinds of finishes, which are firstly the mattes, secondly the shimmers, which Eska named them as the shimmer topper, thirdly the pressed pearl, something like the Huda Beauty Nude palette, and the setting. I just feel that there is not much difference between their matte and setting formula. Overall, I'm surprised and happy with how this small palette performed. Hope that Eska can come up with more wearable, pretty new colors. Also hope that these new palettes are available in Singapore. So far, you can find Eska from Lazada or Shopee in Singapore. And finally, the #1 palette of 2021 that I've reached out frequently. Drumroll! That will be this Hamish Glitter Eyeshadow Palette. This is a PR palette from Stavana. You just probably guessed it. This kind of color story is my cup of tea. Girly, romantic, soft and sparkly. They are matte with sparkle, really sparkle on the eyes, unlike the Colourpop ones. They sparkle just like the Eyeshadow palettes too. These colors are mildly pigmented, softer colors, but the colors shine brightly and brilliantly. Very suitable for those with delicate eyes, where applying strong eyeshadow colors will drown the eyes. Since these colors are subtle and shiny, it helps to open up the delicate eyes and add liveliness and sparkliness to the eyes. I like to wear this palette whenever I wear mask and going for classes. This palette gives a there but not there look. As you guys can see, my top few eyeshadow palettes are the neutral, natural, sheer eyeshadow palettes color story, because especially recently I like a very simple, sheer, sparkly eye makeup look. And now this is your turn to share with me. Which is your 2021 most frequently used eyeshadow palette? Please comment in the comment section below, because I would love to explore your collection too. And now dears, here's an inner beauty tip for us to be more beautiful and more wise. Never be tired of learning or teaching others. The inner beauty tips is something unique in this channel. Thank you dear so much for watching. If you like this video, please consider to subscribe and click the bell notification button below for my future videos. I like to do makeup products review and beauty related videos. If this is your cup of tea, please join in my YouTube family. Also, if you'd like to connect with me more, please visit me at my Instagram and Facebook platform. The address will be over here on the screen. May you dears have a peaceful, blissful and joyful week ahead. See you next time. Bye! And before you go, please check out these 2 videos over here. Thank you!